Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. So earlier today, I did a video talking about what Josh Gaddis stated at the Bros Awards ceremony in reference to the offense that he had to run. If you didn't watch it, basically the statement was he had to run his young son's playbook this particular year and will be looking forward to running the offense that he ran at Michigan next year. Now, I don't even like really saying this particular phrase, right? Because as I've gotten older, I understand that words, and when you look at the definitions of certain words, you realize that, man, like, it shouldn't get to that particular point, right? Like dumb and stupid, right? Disabled, like, well, not disabled, but just dumb and stupid, where ignorant may sound worse, but ignorant just means a lack of knowledge. It's not as bad as calling someone dumb or calling someone stupid, but it should never get to that point, right? But dumbing something down, right? Now, again, as I said on another video, the narrative after 22 years has changed from it's not the players, it's the coach, to now it's the players, not the coach. After 22 years, the narrative has changed, right? And so when the narrative changes, you have to be ready for people rallying behind things that can easily be dissected and poked holes in, right? So when we talk about this dumbing down type of thing, on the Gaddis video, I brought up the early Miami Hurricanes about, do you consider that offense to be dumbed down? But what I want to do in this video is I want to give a couple more examples, and I want you to let me know in the comments. You think I'm kind of off base, or do you think like, well, yeah, when you put it like that, yeah, it does kind of make sense, right? So just let me know in the comments, right? So let's go back to 2006. Urban Meyer's Florida Gators win the national championship, right? Chris Leak is the starting quarterback. I have to put that out there because for whatever reason, Chris Leak gets pushed off to the side. But I guess when you look at the star that Tim Tebow became, it's kind of hard to maybe even go back and look and say, well, yeah, man, Chris Leak was pretty good. Now, what we can say is that Chris Leak did not possess the same ability as Tim Tebow. So what does that mean? That means that the offense that Chris Leak ran was not the offense that Tim Tebow ran. And the offense that we saw from the Florida Gators in 2007 and 2008 wasn't an offense that Chris Leak probably would have been successful in. And obviously the offense that was ran in 2006 wouldn't have been the offense that Tim Tebow would have been successful in, because if that was the case, we would have seen the same offense from 06, 07, 08. Now, again, let me preface this by saying, if anybody asks me a question about football, I always tell them this. I say, look, I'm a football fan first, and then I'm a fan of the Miami Hurricanes, and I'm a fan of the Vegas Raiders. That's what I always say. Because what I want to do is I want to be able to watch as much football as I want to and not be consumed with just watching my team, right? And just being consumed with my team, because you miss out on a lot of good things when you just only focus on your team. I'm not saying anything is wrong with anybody that does that, right? But I'm just saying, for me, I want to be someone that can watch multiple football games so I can pull from things like this and try to put them into context. So getting back to the point. So if there's any Florida Gator fans that have subscribed to the channel, I most definitely want y'all to answer this question. Did y'all feel that the offense was dumbed down in 2007 and 2008? Did anyone say, well, man, since Tim Tebow, the quarterback, man, Dan Mullen has had to dumb the offense down? I want y'all to answer that, right? Go back to Nick Marshall. Great example. Nick Marshall in 2013 helped lead the Auburn Tigers to the national championship game. Nick Marshall started his career off as a defensive back at the University of Georgia. So how does a defensive back, I'm talking about a pretty highly rated defensive back at that, not some slouch. How do you go to the University of Georgia and then you turn around and you end up being a quarterback for a national championship contending football team. Did anybody in Auburn say, well, man, Gus and Rhett, this offense had to be dumbed down so we could get here? Think about that. Did anyone say that? And like I say, I don't even like saying this particular term. The term I like to say is adjustment. I like to use the word adjustment. We adjusted the offense so that it can highlight the strengths of what it is that we have, right? Let's go back to Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor was a freak of nature. Terrell Pryor is probably he has to be one of the highest rated players just regardless of state, just of all time. You got a guy 6'5", 6'6", 220, 225, 230, 4'3". I mean, just an athlete. Whoever the offensive coordinator was at Ohio State during his tenure, did anyone say, man, we got to dumb the offense down, man, because of Terrell Pryor? Anybody say that? No. So I'm just trying to figure out where did this particular phrase come from? And when people talk about, guys being NFL ready and stuff, let's go to the top of the heap. Jimbo Fisher. What's Jimbo Fisher considered? Jimbo Fisher is considered a quarterback whisperer. Runs a pro-style offense. Guys got to go through reads, got to do all this. Why have none of Jimbo Fisher's quarterbacks been successful at the NFL level? Now, I preface this by saying I'm not that guy. College success can lead to NFL success, but once you get to the NFL, I'm the type of person that say, look, this is your full-time job. So it's up to you to do everything in your power to be better, right? Prepare yourself to be good. I don't like necessarily looking at lists, well, this college got the most bust and stuff like that, because a lot of things go into that, right? A lot of stuff goes into that. Some guys may get to that particular level and say, hey, I've crossed the finish line and I don't want to work any harder, right? I don't want to work any harder, right? So it's a lot of mental stuff that goes in it. But getting back to that, why are Jimbo quarterbacks not successful in the NFL? All right? So going back to Miami, I don't follow recruiting, so I don't know. I don't remember what class he was in, but I remember when Torrance Gibson was coming out. And Al Golden was here. And one of the things about that particular recruitment was that a lot of people said, well, man, we don't really see Torrance Gibson projecting as a quarterback at the next level. What did a lot of Miami Hurricane fans say? Offer him anyway, recruit him hard anyway, try to get him on campus and let him try that quarterback, and if it doesn't work out, then we move him somewhere else. Well, let's take that scenario and let's put a hypothetical twist on it. Let's say hypothetically we would have landed Torrance Gibson, right? Hypothetically. And let's say hypothetically speaking, Torrance Gibson was the best quarterback that we had as far as a guy who could lead us to victory. But let's just say Torrance Gibson wasn't as accurate with the football. Let's say we had to run certain plays to get Torrance Gibson, in the game, and while neglecting outside talent, which is kind of the way I look at it, how it occurred with Florida. Florida had some good receivers, but Tim Tebow wasn't going to get them the ball on a consistent basis. All right? So, again, getting back hypothetically, Torrance Gibson. Would anyone have said if Torrance Gibson would have came to the University of Miami, we would have ran up and won 11 or 12 games and maybe won a national championship? Do anybody would have said, oh, man, the offense was dumbed down? Anybody ever said that? No. So what I'm pulling away from this is that if something doesn't work, you got to figure out a reason why it doesn't work, especially if you're trying to justify a particular person. Because, again, a lot of y'all still holding on to that Broyles Award, right? A lot of y'all still holding on to that. So instead of just saying, like, look, it was misevaluations on the coaching, it was misevaluations on the players, instead of saying that and leaving it over with, we rather sit here and go back and forth about, well, it was the players or it was the coaches, instead of just saying, look, Both people are at fault here, right? But I've never heard someone saying the offense was dumbed down. Now it's Manny's defense was dumbed down. But when Mark D'Onofrio was here and everyone was talking about the complexities of his defense, what did everybody say? Well, man, the guys out there like they thinking too much, man. Let them just go play ball. Let them go play ball. Then we go let them play ball. Defense looks a lot better. And then eventually the defense starts to get figured out. It doesn't look as good. And now, oh, man, the defense was dumbed down, man, And it's like, the objective is to win games. And just because you go to a successful system, that don't mean that you're going to have success at the next level. That those things are not mutually inclusive. They're not. So I'm just, again, like I said, I'm really tired of hearing that, man. You want to drag Rhett Lashlee's name in the dirt for being able to do his job. That's crazy. That's just crazy. It's like, me and my buddy were talking about this whole Tom Brady situation. They're like, man, ain't no way in the world you about to tell me that woman left that man because he want to go to work. Y'all not about to sit up here and tell me it's bad that the offensive coordinator can do his job. And he can adjust. Not dumb down, but adjust an offense so that's effective. Just like, and I'm gonna get out of here. It's just like one of those people that, like a person may have won a Nobel Peace Prize for physics, and he has a massive vocabulary, and he's just talking and talking and talking to the audience, and nobody knows what he's saying. That's why people talk about the best teachers. The best teachers are the people that understand what they're doing, but they also can break it down to where the students can understand it. And that's one of the things that separate good teachers from bad teachers. Because I had a lot of teachers like that. Knew the book back to front. You couldn't explain it to me, though. But I'm dumb. Are you saying I'm dumb because I don't understand it? Because it's 25 of us in the classroom. And out of that 25, only one of us understand it. So you saying us 24, we're dumb and the one person is smart. Or is the teacher not adept at explaining it so that everybody can understand it? Doesn't mean that you're dumbing it down. You're adjusting it. You're adjusting it. But again, like I said, when things are going bad and the narrative has changed, hey, it's the players. But anyway, man, this is probably the last video I make on this particular subject, man, because I don't really feel like it's nothing else I can say about it, right? You got examples of offenses being adjusted, and nobody had a problem with it. Nobody brought that up. Heck, Tim Tebow even got drafted in the first round. So, anyway, man, it's all about the you. Like, share, subscribe.